Hey everybody, welcome to Post Popcorn Picks, our podcast where we talk everything movies and cinema. I'm Braden.
I'm Kirsten.
And today we're going to be talking about general film industries and who leads in the film industries. So to start out, we have the United States, which would be Hollywood most likely, and they dominate over most countries and other industries. The United States raises around $10.25 billion a year, which is a lot of money. And there's definitely differences between the industries and the countries that, I'm just going to say industries, but it's mostly divided by the country that is ran. But the US definitely makes different movies than a lot of the other countries do.
They use that money, they make money on these box office hits, and then they use the leftover profit to make other movies. So it's kind of interesting that they make so much money, but we tend to focus on remakes or sequels instead of promoting new ideas or new filmmakers. It's still so difficult to get into the industry. So it's kind of mind-blowing that we kind of blow everybody else out of the water, but we still are just like, here's another Aladdin.
Yeah. And I mean, some movies have been remade like 3 times now. Like Hellboy is one of them. It was remade like it's probably 10 years ago now, but it feels like it was like 5 years ago. And then they just released the new one. And then there's the original. And there's just been so many remakes of movies. And I'm not complaining because some of them are good, but I'd rather have more original content.
Right. Get some new writers in there with new ideas.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm hoping maybe there's been some new horror films and stuff that have kind of had newer ideas, and I'm hoping maybe it's like the next generation of writers is going to bring that new idea in.
Yeah.
Second on the list is China, and China is not too far behind. I mean, they're definitely above some of the others. They have brought in around $6.6 billion a year, which is a good amount. But I'm just trying to think when China makes a movie, in the sense of are they only Chinese movies, or do they make English style movies and produce them to the U.S.? I don't get how.
I don't think I've ever seen a Chinese industry movie that was made for the U.S. or in English.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. So
I don't know. That's just sheer number of people going to the.
Yeah, which China, they have a lot of people. So I mean, it makes sense that they can make enough off of just their own country. But I mean, I'm not a huge person to subtitles, so I don't really watch Chinese.
I watch everything with subtitles, but it's still very fast paced and I don't know.
The next is India, which would be, I guess, Bollywood is a very known cheaper production company or cheaper industry, and they do make good movies that have been in the U.S. and in Great Britain and other places, but I think it's just known as we're gonna go make almost like a parody kind of movie where it's it's not the highest of quality, but it still makes money.
It seems very niche, even though it's so big. It seems very small box to me. Thinking about the people who would seek out Bollywood or Indian movies, it's very small.
Yeah, and they bring in around $2.39 billion a year, which is still a good amount, but compared to the U.S., it's a lot less.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going down. Japan is next, which, I mean, I've kind of seen some Japanese movies, but Japan brings in about $2.5 billion a year. And these were taken around 2017, 2016 statistics, so they're fairly up to date, but they might change over time. I don't really got much to say on Japan movies. I haven't seen many. The United Kingdom is the 5th on the list, and I have watched, they show Harry Potter and 007 and some of the stuff like that. And I have seen movies like these, so I enjoy them, but it's still, you could definitely tell the difference. I don't know if it would be directing and writing or if it would be production with the sets they use, but you can kind of tell a difference from Great Britain to US, just in how they film and stuff like that. And it's still good, but they bring in around $1.7 billion a year.
They're pretty far down on the list, which surprises me.
Yeah, because I think they produce a good amount of or not a lot of films, but they produce a couple great films, and that's where they get their money from. They're not just like pounding out films like the U.S. is.
So I was reading earlier that the UK also, they're encouraging more new writers, and they're trying to make it easier for new filmmakers to get into the industry.
Okay.
That's like a new step that they're working on currently, but they don't have the budget like we do to do all the CGI and stuff, so they have to pick and choose their movies more than we do. So.
Which would make sense, and I feel like the U.S. is so hard to get into filmmaking. Like, you have to have connections to work your way in, or you're not going to make it. And I mean, you have a lot of like people like Netflix and Amazon that are producing films these days, which help these new creators and stuff to see their vision become actual. But yeah, I think Great Britain probably helps others more on like pushing to the next level.
Yes. Maybe we'll see some really cool stuff come out of there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Alrighty, well, I think that's it. We just wanted to do kind of a general film talk for this first podcast of the quarter. Hope you guys are having a great quarter. You can follow us on social media at the Puyallup Post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Our website is up. You can go check out articles and stuff on there. And we'll be back next week with more Post Point and popcorn picks, and maybe even a surprise video on Wednesday. So talk to you guys later.